So neither of my parents were ever diagnosed as autistic or anything like that, but of their 3 children, 2 of us have been. So I do assume that there was some sort of neurodivergence at play with my parents. And I do think that that played into the type of abuse and neglect that I faced as a kid, because they knew quite often that the way they were treating me and the way that they were behaving and the household that they were creating and the dynamics they created within the family weren't appropriate and weren't okay. But they knew that other people weren't doing it in that way, and they knew they probably shouldn't be. But I honestly think they didn't know what else to do or what their other options were or how to change anything, you know? And I think that is due to them having some sort of neurodivergence going on. But I think one of the sort of things that happened repeatedly in my childhood that I really look back on and that really stands out for me is like, oh, my parents like definitely had something going on, is I did a lot of like drama and choir and musicals and things like that growing up. And my parents were like definitely very aware that they had to show up. You know, I think first off that I only got to do that kind of thing because they saw that all of my friends and my peers at school also had like extracurricular activities. So they were like, shit, we'd better actually let her do this. And then they saw that all of my friends and everyone that I knew, like everyone's parents showed up to see us. Like they were spending money on us learning to perform or whatever. They wanted to see it. So my parents would come to like everything that parents were invited to. And I would watch and I would see the other parents like mingling and speaking to each other and engaging with each other. And my parents would be stood off to the side away from the other parents, quite often not even talking to each other, just sort of standing together. And that's one of the things that I find hugely relatable, and like I don't really feel any sort of negativity towards them for. Like I too often am just stood outside of the group and don't really know how to mingle and how to like interject myself. Like I get that. But the thing that was really shitty for me was that they obviously saw the way that the other parents reacted when the kids had come running out, and they'd be like, oh my god, that was amazing, you did so well, I'm so proud of you. So I'd come running out to my parents and my dad would be like, you did so well, you did really well. I'd be like, oh thanks. And my mum would be like, are you ready to go then? And I'd be like, I fucking guess so, I guess I'm ready to go. And we'd go out and get into the car, and that was that. Like it was as though I hadn't spent weeks or months preparing for a performance and then put it on for them and wanted some sort of validation or like, go you know? Like my dad would give me that first initial little bit when it was just done and he saw all the other dads doing it, and then that was it. You know, like I remember one time we were on the way home and I was like, oh, can we get takeout? Can we get like a pizza or fish and chips or something? And my mum was like, why? And I was like, because I've just done the big performance in this hall with my choir. I was like, because I just, and she was just like, why would that mean we get takeout? Like she was so confused as to why I would think that that's something to celebrate or be happy about in any way. And it's one of those things where like I was just constantly made to feel like I was really self-absorbed and spoiled as a child for asking for like basic fucking validation and just like be my family, act like parents.